And welcome back to Kedron Oval in Brisbane. Both sides completing their preliminary warm-ups now. Let's take a look at some of the St Kilda players that we could be expecting things of this afternoon. The captain, of course, of the Saints, now in his 11th year down at Moorabbin, is Trevor Barker, number 1. He'll be hoping certainly for an injury-free season during 1985. Looking down the list, Tony Lockett, number 14. They reckon he's the best full forward down there since Billy Moore, and I'd be inclined to agree with them. He should be in for a great year. Jeff Ablett, number 15, formerly of Hawthorn, formerly of Richmond. He'll certainly add a lot of experience and bite to the Saints centre line if he can reproduce the form that made him a star in the Hawthorn and Richmond Guernseys. 21, Rick McAdam from Alice Springs originally, and the Saints recruited him from Adelaide this year, and they do expect, again, big things from him. He's certainly one of their star recruits for season 1985. Andy Bennett, number 22, didn't have any luck at Hawthorn, had a lot of injury problems, a real high leaper. He'll be starting at full-back today, and again, he should be able to add a lot of experience to the St Kilda lineup. Ken, some of the Queensland players our viewers should keep an eye on.
I certainly think they'd be very interested in keeping an eye on the full forward for the Queensland lineup. Jason Dunstall, Peter, he's been signed by Hawthorn, and they'll be looking for big things from him today. I called the game with Peter Hudson in Tasmania last year, and he gave Dunstall some of the biggest raps you could ever hope to hear. He's number 21 for Queensland. Peter Guy, the big ruckman, is a fellow that's given Queensland ruck department a lot of drive over the last couple of seasons, and the matches that he's put in the preliminary warm-up games to this one against Fitzroy and Collingwood have been superb.
First quarter of the match now on the Foster's Football Cup for 1985, St Kilda and Queensland. Knocked down by Guy, going through very solidly was Keel. He got a push in the back. He hasn't got the beard on this year. Over it goes to Cronin. St Kilda should be able to get a good lead this quarter if they make good use of this breeze. It's a southeasterly and a good strong mark. Taken down there in defence by McGarry. Comes from South Australia. Is any relation to the famous name, Ken?
He doesn't admit to it, Peter.
Chance for Burns. He's a real goer. Crowd looking for holding the ball, and that's how umpire Kevin Smith has paid it. And the free kick will be going to Kevin O'Keefe, the captain of the Queensland side. And looking pretty fit too, Kevin. He's gone out wide and finding out there Johnny Blair. Another veteran VFL performer. Barker scrags him. He finishes up in the mud. And Blair comes out of it with the free kick at right half back. Blair decides to get things moving pretty quickly for Queensland. Ball standing right up into the stiff breeze. Side bottom in the front. Can't take the mark. Has it punched away from him. Loose ball centre wing. A chance down there for Harper. Still loose ball on centre wing. Players going in pretty solidly in the first term here. And the umpire has decided on a ball up. I'm not quite sure whether he can bounce it there. It looks very, very soft. In fact, throws it in the air. Had plenty of rain last night, knocked down by side bottom, picked up by Cronin for St Kilda, looking for a hand pass. He's just about over the line, and in fact is over the line. It will be a free kick, I think, to Queensland. They're right below our commentary position here. Let's see who's going to take it.
Michael Gibson.
Gibson, number 23 for the Queensland side.
Gibson with the ball now on the centre wing position, ready to put Queensland further into attack. Looking for Blair, gives a lead, puts the ball high toward Dunstall. Dunstall pulls it in one hand, takes the mark.
I can see what you mean, Ken. He does look a pretty good prospect, doesn't he?
He uses his body very well, Peter. He's a very capable player, and his kicking ability is pretty good also.
He's very solid, isn't he?
Yes, a strong player. Dunstall with the ball, 35 metres out from goal. A 45-degree angle, kicking into the wind. Right across the face of goals. Hasn't made the distance yet. Over, and the first score on the board, a minor.
I'm just thinking, Dunstall, we mentioned he's very solid. How tall is he, Ken? Maybe he could be lacking a few inches in key position for the VFL.
He's about 6'1.5".
He doesn't really look that.
Ball comes back now onto the wing with Harper. Harper unable to get rid of it. Taken out of there by Cronin. Cronin unsure what to do with the ball. Eventually gets it over the top to Morwood. Morwood right on the boundary. Puts a handball across. Taken away by Finch. Finch back to Harper. Harper gives them drive again. Puts it up right into the full forward zone. Nobody able to take it, but coming through there, Brendan McMullen screws the ball onto the boot, kicks it right across the face of goal. The first boundary throw in of the day, 10 metres from the Queensland goal in front of the Kedron clubhouse. Brendan McMullen, number 13 for Queensland, the winner of the Grogan Medal, our equivalent of the Brownlow here last season, just 21 years of age. Kick from St Kilda going across the face of goal, taken away by their number 21 on that side of the ground, Greg McAdam. Scrimmage of players, bounced to be the decision by umpire Lindsay Baguli from Queensland. Very steamy conditions here at the moment. Ruck contest, the ball knocked down by Cowie. Stephen Russ leading in the race to the ball. Is infringed, gets the free kick on the far side of the ground. Puts it up, finds Tony Beckett, the vice-captain of Queensland, runs around his opponent, drops the ball to the left boot, puts it right into the teeth of goals.
Oh,
Dunstall, and puts it through.
We're hoping for big things at Moorabbin this year. And Saints fans hoping that he can fill down that full-back position. That's where he started today. 4.5 minutes gone, first quarter. Queensland having the first goal on the board. And chance for the Saints to go forward now, but an errant hand pass from McAdam. Finally the ball up towards half forward, and a good mark down there for Queensland taken by Barry Evans. Evans kicking into this breeze. He'll have to aim for the right goalpost. He's got just about the distance. Chance for the Saints to get clear. Elphinston. Ball back towards the centre square. Morwood, right half-back flank. Gets around Evans. He's gone for a pass, and the good safe mark out there for St Kilda is taken by Max Crowe. Crowe at right centre wing. Gives the ball plenty of height to use the breeze. Right behind. No one can take the grab. O'Keefe goes for a hurried hand pass. Lockett's dispossessed. Guy goes along the boundary line. Plenty of Queensland players over there, and they're well shepherded. Finally picked up by O'Neill. His kick is smothered by Cronin, it was, I think, and the ball will be thrown into play between right centre wing and right half forward for St Kilda. Scoreboard showing 7 points Queensland. The Saints yet to score and kicking with the assistance of this breeze. Knocked down by Crowe. Chance for Narkle. Gets ridden into the ground, surely a push in the back, and that's how the umpire has seen it. Narkle, right half forward, again using the wind, putting it right up there. O'Keefe just can't take the mark, or has he paid it? He has paid the mark. So Kevin O'Keefe, the captain of the Queensland side, to get the Maroons out of danger. Should bring it towards the defensive side of the ground. He's got a 15-metre penalty. Lockett standing on the mark. Kick high towards the half-back line. Gibson was the flyer, couldn't drag it down. And socket off the ground for Queensland by Finch. Finally gets his kick in. Cunningham in the road for St Kilda. Over the top, McIver. A play on call. A chance for the Saints, and it's picked up by McAdam. And the short pass is okay. The mark taken by Peter Keel.
Peter Keel with the ball. Centre half forward position for St Kilda. Goes for the short pass, finds his target. Unable to take the mark. Ball driven toward the boundary line. Greg Burns in there fighting for St Kilda. Eventually the kick gotten away, driven forward and through. Side bottom takes the punch, gets the ball away. Comes out wide toward Harper. Harper gets the handball moving immediately onto McMullen. McMullen driving the ball forward for Queensland. High in the air again. Bennett in front on that occasion, put the ball to ground. Coming out with it Roberts. Roberts goes for the long handball across toward Elphinstone. Scooped away from him by Gibson. Gibson gets it across to Russ. Russ runs into the open goal, drives it through, and Queensland retaliate very quickly with a goal through the agency of Stephen Russ.
Oh, very good goal, and Queensland playing excellent football against the breeze as we watch that in replay. And Russ on the angle, about a 45-degree shot, and he put it through for 4 points to Queensland. Great goal. Queensland playing well in the opening term, which is just over 8 minutes old.
Ball back now, ready for the centre bounce once more. This time Kevin Smith to bounce from the other side of the centre square. Puts the ball down. Bounces awkwardly, side bottom runs in, unable to take it. Finch driven to the ground with the ball. Another bounce to be necessary. Cunningham pulled off stupidly by Gibson, unnecessary.
And gets the free kick.
Rightfully so. Cunningham with the ball, drives it across toward the flank toward Morwood. Morwood with the ball on the half forward flank, drives forward again. Good mark pulled in by Elphinstone. Elphinstone wastes no time, puts the ball high. And in front, Crowe. Crowe only 10 metres out from goal. Looks as though it's going to be a high-scoring game at this rate.
It certainly does. Let's take a look at the mark again from Max Crowe, using the body well, and he was able to take it in front of his teammate Frawley.
There's Crowe's shot for goal. He's made no mistake. Straight through the middle. And Max Crowe puts the second goal on the board for St Kilda.
Well, St Kilda kicking with the breeze, judging by the flags down there, I'd say it's certainly a 2 or 3 goal breeze at least, Ken.
Does appear to have died away a little to what it was earlier, Peter, but certainly there's a couple of goals in it, there's no doubt of that.
Max Crowe, one of the veterans of the Saints side, formerly of Essendon, of course, also has had injury problems since transferring to Moorabbin. Just over 9.5 minutes gone in the first quarter, 13 plays 12, a point in it. Chance down there for Queensland's Finch to pick up the ball. He's fumbling, it's very greasy. Umpire Kevin Smith has found a free kick, which he will take at centre half back. A play on call, he does. Short pass in towards centre field. No mark taken there. Russ gets rid of it pretty quickly. A chance for Evans, he's slung. Cronin puts the body in well. A chance for St Kilda, out comes McAdam. Dragged a little bit too high, I thought. The umpire says no. And chance for Queensland to go into attack. The ball driven long up towards full forward. Taking it as Harper, racing into an open goal. Oh, he's hit the post! Oh, goodness me! How did he miss it?
Oh.
Goodness me, Harper was only about 10 or 12 metres out. Anyway, 1 point to Queensland, the end result. Let's take a look at that again. Certainly shouldn't have missed this, Kent.
No, he's evaded the player, but he's got plenty of time to steady, Peter. Terrible kick.
Ball at the centre wing, right centre wing for St Kilda. Elphinstone cops a heavy one and a high one. The umpire says play on. St Kilda getting their running game going now. It's Cronin. Long shot, a good 55-metre kick. That looks pretty good from here, and he's put it through.
By Roberts, over the top of the players there. Adams leading in the race to the ball in front of Narkle, right on the edge of the boundary. Will go over the boundary line. Boundary throw in to take place. Half forward flank for St Kilda in this opening term. 11 minutes gone. Side bottom and Melican. Melican gets the tap down to Roberts. Roberts shepherding over the ball. In the back he gets a free kick. Would consider it lucky, I would think.
Yes, he what you call a bit of a dive.
Michael Roberts with the ball. Puts it toward the half forward position. Terry O'Neill leading in the race to the ball for Queensland. Unable to come away with it. Ball on the ground. Cunningham comes out with the handball. Gets it immediately over to Ablett. Ablett runs around his opponents. Puts the ball forward, but is going to go over the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will go to Rob McGarry in the back pocket position for Queensland. A very interesting player. This doesn't play with the club here in Queensland. Formerly played with Western Districts. Now lives in Tully. Practices in the backyard with his wife and does a great job of it, apparently.
I have to take your word for that.
McGarry's kick going to the flank. Ball on the ground. Evans gets the handball over to nobody in particular. Melican scoops up the crumbs, puts it toward the centre wing position. Coming out with it there is McAdam, very busy player for St Kilda in the opening term. Gets it across to Roberts. Roberts goes for the long kick, hoping there'll be nobody home again. Oh, top mark. Great mark, Greg Burns.
He's already kicked 1 goal, Burns, from a snapshot. This would certainly deserve a goal. Superb grab.
Only 5 metres out. Let's see it again in replay. Here's the kick from Roberts.
A good long kick, Ken.
Yep. That is a flaw in Queensland's play, Peter. If there's one you could pick out, it's the lack of penetrating kicks. There's a great mark. And no dangers about that. The second goal on the board for Greg Burns, the first dual scorer for the day.
Well, Greg Burns shaping up to have a good afternoon. Interesting to see Michael Roberts kick that ball long too, because Michael, we've been speaking of players' injuries. He has been sidelined for many, many weeks, months in fact, with a persistent knee injury, and great to see him coming back to some of his best form. I hope he's in for a good year. Greg Burns a real goer, and St Kilda certainly need them. Approaching the 14-minute mark now of the first quarter. Remember that the opening 2 terms in Foster's Cup matches are of 20 minutes duration only. McAdam being shepherded out, couldn't quite pick up the ball. Now it's a chance for Queensland. A long hand pass by Evans to no one in particular. In fact, it's intercepted by Roberts down there for St Kilda. Just about had his head pulled off. And umpire Kevin Smith, I think, has decided on a bounce. Or a ball up. Is he going to bounce it there or throw it in the air? It's going to be a bounce. It's one of the firmer parts of the ground. Jostling, side bottom, had it and then lost it. And it will be a free kick to Queensland to be taken down there by McMullen. Ball standing up into the breeze. Bennett goes the punch, tried to get it down to Morwood, successfully so. Oh, Barker got one too high. And the St Kilda skipper, now in his 11th year with the club, will take the free kick. Barker from centre half back. Wide to centre wing. Oh, Burns, clever knock on. He's certainly shaping up as one of the players of the match so far. He'll get the free kick for a high tackle. Burns, centre wing right. He's going to go long, as he should, with the breeze. McGarry was the flyer down there, but he's outmarked by Max Crow. And as all St Kilda supporters and Essendon supporters, I dare say, know, Max not the most reliable kick at goal. He's got one so far. Let's see if he can make it two. Goal umpire hasn't moved. That's not a bad kick. 2 goals to Max Crow. St Kilda go further.
Roberts.
Play underway again at the 16-minute mark of the term.
Elphinston with the ball, beaten there by Russ, gets it across. Beckett unable to get the kick away, smothered by Elphinston. He recovers well, gets ball to boot, drives it further afield. McGarry gets in there, unable to take possession of the ball, comes out, taken away by St Kilda, put it further forward. Crow by himself again, takes the mark on the chest, and again goes for that big kick. Certainly making the most possible use of the wind, but it's through for a minor on this occasion, and the first point on the board for St Kilda.
Well, we said it was a 2 or 3 goal breeze, and Kilda in the latter part of this term certainly have made good use of it. Good long kicks, attacking the right flank and playing very, very well up forward at the moment.
Ball being kicked out now for Queensland by Graham Adams. Puts the ball onto the flank, a bit of a nudge in the back to Guy, unseen by the umpire. Narkle gets around his opponent in front of Adams, a bit too much pace for him, drives the ball forward. Tony Lockett leading in the race to the ball, taking a good mark. And I agree with you, Peter. We saw this fellow play up here last year, of course, in this same match, and put in a top performance. He's a great prospect at full forward.
Well, he kicked on last year as well, as you know, Ken.
Lockett's kick, straight through the middle. No dangers about that, and the 6th goal on the board for St Kilda.
So St Kilda now 6-1-37, Queensland 2-2-14. St Kilda just looking a little bit too strong at the moment for the Queensland combination. The Queensland side already having played Fitzroy and Collingwood, so they knew what they were in for this afternoon. But St Kilda playing a fast, open game. They're getting the ball, as I said, to the right flank, attacking using long kicks with the breeze. .37 plays 14 now. 17 3/4 minutes gone of the opening term. 20 minutes it will be in duration. No time on. Played in the first and second quarters in these Foster's Football Cup matches. It will be a bounce just wide of the centre circle. Side bottom. Contesting with Guy. Good use of the body by side bottom, but not a particularly good hand pass. He gets sandwiched in there, still trying to get it out, possibly grabbed too high. Keel gets a hand pass out, and St Kilda swing into attack up towards centre half forward, and a good safe mark taken by O'Neill. Wide to centre wing. Side bottom in there for St Kilda. Down comes Beckett with the ball. Beckett to left half forward for Queensland. Just about a mark. The umpire says it will not be paid. Melican goes for a hurried hand pass. It's picked up by McIver. It will be a St Kilda free kick to be taken by Danny Frawley. Frawley from right half back. Lobs it high, trying to find side bottom. The ball fisted away for Queensland down there by McGarry. And the umpire has found a St Kilda free kick. And the ball going to Odgers. St Kilda just looking too strong at the moment. They've got most of the answers. Burns again, this time can't take the mark. He's opposite number 11 as Adams. And Queensland clearing the ball through the agency of Harper. Back towards centre wing, and the mark is taken by Russ. So 3/4 of a minute to go before quarter time.
And Queensland looking to get the ball into attack as quickly as possible with only a little time left in this term. The ball now in the hands of Russ, 15-metre penalty being applied, but a bit of time being wasted. Russ with the ball. Puts boot to ball, gets it down toward the forward pocket, comes loose onto the ground, taken away by Gary Odgers. Handball over the top, gives it to Elphinstone again, and the ball driven forward. Rod Laurie unable to intercept. Guy gets in with the handball, gets a quick one away to O'Neill. O'Neill's kick is short towards Beckett and Russ. Russ again had a mountain of possession in this opening term. And manages to elude his opponent, gets around, but the handball's misdirected. And brought out for St Kilda by Jeff Ablett. Ablett streaming up the ground as a siren sounds to end the first term. Well, the score at the end of the first quarter, Queensland 2-2-14, trailing St Kilda 6-1-37.
And we'll take a break from the Kedron Oval. Back in just a moment. And welcome back to the John Wren Oval at Kedron in Queensland. Checking the quarter time score. St Kilda 6-1-37, Queensland 2-2-14. The goal kickers for St Kilda, 2 to Max Crow, 2 to Burns and 1 to Lockett. And for Queensland, Russ has 1 and Dunstall has 1. And Laurie Pendrick, the Queensland coach, certainly laying down the law in no uncertain terms. Ken?
He's got plenty to say, and rightfully so, Peter. They've certainly got to man up a lot better than they did in that term. I think they've got to be a lot tighter in defence, but they've, again, let the opposing side get away to a good break, and that's happened in each of the games that they've played so far this season.
Well, this happened last year, didn't it? And Queensland came home very well.
Precisely, and that seems to be their problem. They're finishing on the job well because they're essentially a pretty fit side, but I think nerves is getting the best of them in all of these games. They seem to take a while to settle.
Let's take a look at some of the statistics now up until quarter time. For Queensland, first of all, we'll work from the top. The marks 6 as against 9 to St Kilda, and Max Crow and Burns have taken some rippers down there for the Saints. The kicks 26-26, so kicks are exactly the same. I guess we can assume from that, Ken, that Queensland have wasted a lot of theirs.
I think that's the only assumption you can come to, Peter, and it's a reasonable one, I think.
Handballs 12 as against 10, so certainly isn't much in that. The free kicks 5 to Queensland and 9 to St Kilda. Most of those have been pretty obvious though, so I don't think we could quibble at that. And the shots at goal 4-7. Well, this is going to be a big quarter for Queensland. This is possibly the quarter in which they're going to win or lose the game, Ken, I feel. If they can't make use of the breeze, then the Saints should be able to go on and win it.
I agree with you entirely, Peter, and one of the things I think I mentioned during the call is that Queensland aren't using a penetrating kick nearly enough. They quibbled and mucked around in front of goal a lot in the last term of the match against Collingwood last week, when in fact they doubled Collingwood scoring shots at goal but didn't finish the job off. Nobody wanted to take the long kick and put it in from the half-forward flank, and that's where they're going wrong. And unless they do that with the use of the breeze in this term, they're going to be in a whole bunch of bother again.
The crowd clearing off the oval. There was, of course, a warning prior to the game that patrons weren't to be welcomed on the arena, but like most of these functions, they don't take much notice of it. Number 21, Jason Dunstall, one of the goal kickers for Queensland, took a very nice mark early in the term, but of course has had limited opportunities. The ball isn't coming down, there's not much he can do about it. But certainly he has got a very good pair of hands.
That scoring opportunity of Phil Harper's that was missed too was a very costly one for Queensland in more ways than one.
Umpire holding the ball aloft, expecting the siren to sound. Kevin Smith going to get a sore arm in a minute. We begin the second quarter now from the Kedron Oval in Brisbane. St Kilda 6-1-37, leading Queensland 2-2-14. Well, this has got to be the big term for Queensland. They're kicking with the breeze. Paul Morwood goes for the knock-on. Oh, going through beautifully is Cunningham. He has a flying shot at goal, but he's sprayed the ball, and in fact it's out of bounds. So, just didn't take enough time, Jeff Cunningham. And so we will see a boundary throw in, forward pocket right for the Saints. Max Crow loses out, picked up by Guy, a little bit too slow in trying to get rid of the ball. It's very, very crowded down there. McGarry, a hurried hand pass, picked up by Jeff Ablett. Still looks pretty fast, a flying shot at goal. Great snapshot, I think, and through. So a great start by St Kilda in the second term. Jeff Ablett putting through his first goal for his third VFL club. There it is in replay. A great left foot snapshot by the veteran winger, and scraped through for St Kilda's 7th goal. So a great start by the Saints in the opening minute of the second quarter. 37 plays 14 now in this elimination match for the Foster's Football Cup. Knocked down by Sidebottom. A chance for Ablett again, holding the ball for mine. No, says the umpire, held to him. And you can probably hear some of the Queensland fans in the background not entirely appreciating that decision by the local umpire. Knocked down by Sidebottom, got one for his corner, right behind the ear. A chance now for Queensland to swing into attack through the agency of Finch. His kick is well wide, in fact it's out of bounds on the full. It will be a penalty free kick to St Kilda, to be taken down there, it would appear, by Trevor Barker. Barker was named at half-back flank. And the side handed to me by Ian Stewart, sporting a beard this year. And again, Ian is always full of surprises. Barker from left half-back flank, long high kick to centre wing.
Coming out with the ball on the centre wing again is Ablett, in plenty of play in this opening term. And coming through again is, Greg Burns. Burns immediately gets the ball further afield. Lockett gets the handball quickly across to McAdam. Ball driven toward the goals. But in defence, O'Neill punching the ball away from his St Kilda opponent, who was Morwood on that occasion, and a boundary throw in to take place. Right in the teeth of the St Kilda goal. Over the top. How easy. Kick ill-directed from Peter Keel, and as a result, 1 point on the board. Ball back in the hands of Graham Adams, the full-back for Queensland, or kicking out for Queensland, actually playing in the pocket. Puts the ball right to the point of the square. Russ comes in, unable to take the ball away. Good handball over to Roberts. Roberts screws the ball across, bounces an awkward one, comes to McGarry. McGarry's kick is an awkward one also, floats around the wing position. Leading in the race to the ball there is Burns. Ball tapped along the ground. On the deck, anybody's. O'Keefe gets it out, comes to Finch. Finch puts the ball high. Mark taken by Blair. John Blair, captain and coach of Morningside in the QAFL competition, puts the boot right into the ball. That's the way they need to kick it. Gets it high toward Dunstall, unable to take the mark. Touched and through for a point, and the first score on the board to Queensland in this second term, with about 3 minutes of play gone. There's a kick out by Bennett. Goes over the boundary line. And a resultant free kick to go to Queensland, to be taken by Phil Harper, the wingman. Harper recruited to Queensland this year from the ACT. Again, puts the ball high for Dunstall. Melican in the back spoils the opportunity in the front, and spoils the opportunity for the mark. And again, rush through, 4 are behind. Queensland with the ball camped in their scoring zone at the moment, but unable to get any majors on the board. Brought out by St Kilda. An ordinary pass up toward Morwood. O'Neill also overruns the ball. O'Neill eventually with the ball. Well captured by Barker. Over the boundary line, out of bounds. And a little bit of an altercation immediately beneath us between Cunningham and Gibson. And the umpire's in there to settle it out. Free kick going to Michael Gibson of Queensland. Umpire blows the whistle again, bringing the ball back. And the kick to be taken once more by Michael Gibson.
Plenty of advice from the sidelines, Ken, I notice.
I think they happen to be fairly close to the coach's box there. The kick going the other way now to Cunningham. Dear me. And O'Neill brings it out again toward Beckett. Beckett takes the ball over the boundary line, out of bounds, boundary throw in to take place. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Scoreboard reading 16 to Queensland, 44 to St Kilda. The Saints starting off pretty well with the breeze in the first term. Queensland must make good use of it here in the second. Getting spilt over there was McMullen. The umpire has found a free kick. And it will go to number 3 for Queensland in Finch. Well, good long kick. That's what Queensland have got to do this term with the breeze. The ball fisted into the open spaces, picked up by Beckett. He's rolled, and the ball over the boundary line, likewise the player. And it will be a boundary throw in, left half forward for Queensland, but about 60 metres from their goal. It's the non-scoring side. St Kilda attacked the opposite flank in the first term, made very good use of the conditions. Going through solidly again for Queensland was Finch. Certainly has been one of their better players. It comes up towards Paul Morwood. Couldn't quite take the mark. Plenty of opposition there from O'Neill, who's been in the thick of things in the last couple of minutes. And we'll see a bounce on centre wing right in front of our commentary position. Breeze not as strong as it was earlier, but certainly still favouring the end, to which Queensland are attacking. Side bottom's done well in the ruck. A further knock on by Cunningham. And finally picked up by Michael Roberts. Good to see Michael playing well. McGarry. Kick wobbles up towards centre wing. Almost a mark down there to Guy, and in fact the umpire has paid it. And Guy's been outrucked so far by side bottom. He's got the height, but side bottom certainly has the skills so far. Cowie. A good turn of speed for a big man. Runs into plenty of trouble. 3 Queenslanders are out there, and finally the ball hoofed up towards their centre half forward position, but St Kilda defending well. Elphinston, one of the best defenders in their side, over to Keel. Keel goes for the hand pass, and the Saints doing it pretty well. And that could be a free kick downfield after Odgers was flattened, and it will be taken by Michael Roberts. And Roberts in the thick of things at the moment. Roberts from right centre wing.
Looks for the lead. Narkle was the flyer, couldn't take the mark. Queensland defending desperately as the ball comes towards the non-scoring flank again. Getting underneath it for the Saints is Cronin, who played very well in the opening 10 minutes of the match. Still doing some useful things. Out it comes to Trevor Barker, the skipper. Barker out towards his blonde teammate in Michael Roberts. Couldn't take the mark. Elphinston gets his kick in. McAdam went without the ball. Good strong tackle out there by Finch, and the umpire has found a free kick to Queensland. Or is it going to St Kilda? No, it's going to St Kilda. McAdam, Elphinston, right in the boundary line. A hurried kick, subsequently not a good one. Side bottom, every which way but loose. McAdam, ran into his own teammate and nearly biffed him. It gives the chance to Queensland, and they certainly should make the most of this one. The ball driven high and long up towards their centre half forward position. Melican has it knocked away from him. A chance for Gary Odgers again. Melican giving pursuit, but Cowie doing some good shepherding, and the Saints get clear.
Odgers comes out with the ball, immediately puts it further afield, and St Kilda going back into attack again. Handball over to Narkle is good. Narkle's pass is not a good one. Goes very low along the ground. Lockett wrapped up on the ground. It'll have to be a ball up. That's the way umpire Lindsay Beguli from Queensland sees it. He's going to bounce it. Guy and Crow. Crow comes down with the ball, gets around, puts it onto the right boot, drives it forward. The mark taken by Lockett.
Strangely, Ken, so far the full forwards haven't had a great influence on the game. Lockett's got one goal, and so too has Jason Dunstall. They've had limited opportunities, haven't they?
Yes, they have, Peter. I think with the use of the wind generally, it's been fired in from further out than the full forwards are playing, but certainly Lockett in good position for this one. 15 metres out, a slight angle, puts it straight through, makes no mistake about that, puts his second goal on the board for the day. Ball comes wide. Stephen Russ in there, had plenty of possession for Queensland.
Yeah, he's playing well, isn't he?
Have to be one of their best players. Puts the ball long. Over the back, nobody able to take advantage of it. Roberts comes out with the handball, puts it wide. St Kilda bursting through beautifully here. Elphinstone. It's ball to boot, right into the scoring zone, and Lockett contested with two Queensland players, the stronger man in the centre, taking the mark. Up high. Attempt to pull down a one-hander, doesn't work, comes over to Narkle. Narkle quickly gets the ball to boot, puts it right across the face of goal, not out of bounds as yet, and there's Russ again. Gets his handball this time to Laurie. Laurie's too slow, captured, gets the ball down, Harper with the ball, there's centre man, puts it toward, Wingman, puts it toward the centre of the ground. Rick Finch again with the ball. Handball across to McMullen. McMullen in plenty of trouble, gets his kick away just in time, goes over the top, taken by John Blair. Just in front of Queensland, the St Kilda captain, I beg your pardon, and Trevor Barker. We should be so fortunate. Blair's kick, a long one, goes down, nobody able to take it. Elphinstone bursting through the pack, handball's wide. Barker up to meet the ball, but it's going to beat both players over the boundary line, out of bounds. A boundary throw-in to take place 20 metres away from the Queensland goal.
Boundary throw-in. Getting in front was Guy. Fisted away by Andy Bennett, picked up by McMullen. He has a snapshot at goal and puts it through for only 1 point. 1 point when Queensland badly needed a goal. They haven't scored one since about the 5-minute mark, I think, of the first quarter. And they are, of course, kicking with this breeze. It's about a 2 to 3 goal breeze, and Kilda made good use of it in the first term. Roberts' kick, high and long, chipping in is O'Keefe. Looking for a 15-metre penalty, but the umpire not having any of that. Kevin O'Keefe, one of the veterans, of course, of Australian football. Formerly of Fitzroy. Narkle. No, Cronin, rather. And it will be a ball up at centre half forward for Queensland, who have certainly gone the long way to goal, but limited opportunities. Kilda's defence standing pretty firm, led by Elphinston and Barker. And once again, I think we will see a ball up. No, it's going to be a free kick. Cowie gives it to Barker. Well, Roberts down to Barker eventually, and chipping in to take the mark short of centre winger's side bottom. He's done very well in the ruck. Barker doesn't get a favourable bounce. The ball, though, going St Kilda's way, and it's finally picked up for them down there by Elphinston. As I said, playing a great game across the half-back line. That will be a mark and or free kick to Max Crow. And he gets a 15-metre penalty. Well, I was just about to say, Ken, he's not within kicking distance, but he is now.
It's made it easy for him.
And we watch it in replay, and you see he gets a nice whack across the eye there. Crow's kick Up towards full forward. Narkle burrowing through the pack, gets one too high. Still he's going. That shot for goal is pretty good, I think, by Cunningham. Yes, it's there.
So many times before. Melican in the ruck gets a tap on this occasion. Down to Russ. Russ unable to get away with it. Scott McIver in there also. Can't do anything. Another bounce will be necessary. No, free kick to McIver. McIver comes out with the ball. Drives it long. Knocked away from Dunstall. Superb defence by St Kilda there, getting the ball loose. Barry Evans, done little today. Bursting through there for St Kilda. Riggs getting the ball loose. Beckett. Blair. Ball held to him, said umpire Kevin Smith. Cronin under plenty of pressure. Obviously the Queensland camp underneath us didn't agree. The ball to be bounced. Kevin Smith puts the ball down. Not a good bounce, understandably, in the weather. Keel tries to get it away. Comes out to McIver. McIver over to McMullen. McMullen attempts to centre the ball. Goes straight to Barker. Barker brings it back to Odgers. Odgers brought to ground. Will get the benefit of the free kick. Tackled too high. Odgers with the ball, looking for a target. Finds a short one in Elphinstone. A terrible kick, misdirected. Elphinstone manages to recover. No, he doesn't. And he and the ball taken over the boundary line by a bump from Tony Beckett, the vice-captain for Queensland, necessitating another boundary throw-in. McIver going over the top. It comes down to Odgers. Odgers gets his kick in towards side bottom. Side bottom quickly captured, but recovers better than the Queensland players. Bursts his way through the pack, has a bounce, puts the ball further forward, gets it up to Ablett. Ablett streams around the boundary line, dropped the ball to the right boot, put it right into the scoring zone. Crow unable to take the mark. Kevin O'Keefe defending strongly for Queensland, forces the ball over. And another point to be added to the scoreboard for St Kilda.
St Kilda haven't scored too many points, or behind, I should say. 9-2, I think that makes it to 2-5. Ball out towards the half-back line. Mace, former Hawthorn player. They had three in their side. Ablett and Bennett being the other two. Oh, good mark taken down there by Burns. He's playing a ripper game today. He's already kicked 2 goals and has a chance to bring up his third. Let's take a look at that mark again, Ken. Fine grab. So a chance for Burns. At 27, I suppose we could put him in the veteran class. He seems to have been around for years. And a valuable cog in the St Kilda wheel, which today is certainly functioning like a well-oiled one. He didn't allow for the breeze there. It's a slight cross breeze, and it appears to be rushed through for one behind. That's how the goal umpire sees it. One further point to St Kilda. That will take them to 9-4. They lead Queensland 2-5 at Kedron in Brisbane. A qualifying match in the Foster's Cup for 1985. The winner into the main draw of 16 in this $525,000 competition for 1985. Back towards right half forward for the Saints. A very, very scrambly passage of play. Roberts has the ball. Umpire has found a free kick to St Kilda. I presume for a high tackle, and that could almost be 15 metres. Yes, it is. And if Roberts wasn't within kicking distance, he certainly is now.
And been left loose.
He fires at goal. It looks pretty good from here. Bad defence by Queensland. Lack of discipline, and Roberts puts it through for his first goal. Heel goes for the hand pass. It's not a particularly good one. Jeff Ablett just about caught. In fact, he was. It comes out to Elphinstone, St Kilda's best defender in my book at the moment. He's having a great game. He's gone for a short pass up towards centre half forward, and a good mark for Queensland is taken by number 14 in Harper. Harper from half back right. O'Neill on centre wing. A hand pass in turn comes out to McIver. McIver's gone for a pass. It's not a particularly good one. The ball out of bounds on the full, and that will be a free kick to St Kilda's Andy Bennett. And Bennett will be looking to cement a place in the St Kilda side after a disappointing few years at Hawthorn. Started at full-back and doing pretty well there so far. Ablett on centre wing, or just short of it. Jeff Ablett chips it up towards Cronin, or Narkle rather. Of course, both of those players were involved in that clearance wrangle. And we think of them almost, I guess, as twins in that respect. Lockett burrowing in for the ball. Umpire Kevin Smith has come in, and I think he will bounce it. St Kilda bench, I think, would be pretty happy at the moment. There's the new look Ian Stewart. Maybe he got the idea from Paul Morwood, also sporting the beard, of course. Paul's had his just a little bit longer. Knocked down to Mace. Mace puts it high up towards full forward, looking for Lockett. He can't take the mark. McGarry's there. And a chance for Queensland to clear the ball, and the mark is taken out there by Russ. Certainly their best player, Ken, in my opinion.
Yes, he's played well, Peter, right throughout the day, and he did the same last week. He's been in everything. Good player. Gets a handball across to McIver. McIver's handball to Harper was far too low. He had to bend for it, couldn't do so, and it's going to be taken away again by Mace. Mace puts the ball back toward Roberts. Roberts moves his body around well, given plenty of time. McGarry left alone to mind him. Puts a second goal on the board to Roberts in this term, and good play and a good pass from Mace.
Well, the St Kilda players doing as they like now up forward. The defence of the Queenslanders very, very loose indeed. 2 goals to Crowe, Roberts, Burns and Lockett.
There's the action and replay, Peter, and you see Roberts get under the ball, twist the body around, waste no time. McGarry was forced to come out to try and counter him, but too late, and another goal on the board. And as you say, that Queensland defence very ragged. There's the siren to end the term. Seemed to sneak up very quickly. Well, Queensland failing to add a goal in that one. 2-5-17 to St Kilda. 11-4-70.
All right, well, there it is. A very, very disappointing quarter for Queensland. Kicking with the breeze. They added only 3 points. And St Kilda score at half-time 11-4-70. So the Saints in that term added 5 goals, 3. 70 plays 17. And we'll be back for the second half a little bit later on during the afternoon.
Match of the Foster's Football Cup is proudly brought to you by Carlton, one of the world's great brewers, and presented for your enjoyment by Nissan. Come alive, come and drive Nissan. In association with NEC, Australia's future in home entertainment, and Westpac, Australia's most competitive bank. Westpac, the bank.
Thank you and welcome back to the Kedron Oval in Brisbane. Both teams just about ready to come back onto the ground now. Oh, mutilate them, Mexicans. They're being mutilated at the moment. Scoreboard at half-time, St Kilda 11-4-70, leading Queensland 2-5-17. Well, that was a very poor quarter for Queensland. They managed only 3 behind. St Kilda kicked 5-3. Let's take a look at the statistics now on the game. Although I suppose after looking at the quarter-by-quarter scores, Ken, they will tell the story.
Well, they're rather surprising statistics, really, Peter. The only variation between the two of them is in the kicks. And, of course, that, I suppose, indicates that St Kilda are doing all the hard work around the ground and Queensland haven't been. And they're going to have to do some if they want to stay in this game. And I say stay in it. Winning it from here would be nigh on an impossibility, I would think, the way they've been playing so far.
Well, you used the words around the ground, and doing a lot of useful work around the ground for St Kilda, and one of their best players is Michael Roberts, number 10. Very, very impressed with his perform here this afternoon. He'd certainly, in my opinion anyway, be in St Kilda's top 4 players and probably one of the best on the ground. He has been at everything for the Saints. Very poor defence. We discussed this passage of play before by Queensland on that occasion, and Roberts chipping in there for one of his 2 goals.
Yes, it was a very disappointing performance at that time from Tony Beckett, the vice-captain from Queensland, who threw the ball away, giving Roberts the benefit of the 15-metre penalty that put him within kicking distance, and then he walked off the mark and left Roberts unguarded and made it very easy for Michael. But I certainly agree with you. I think he's played a very good game, and Elphinstone in the back line's been superb, Peter.
Yes, Robert Elphinstone, a very, very good defender. Little has got past him. Just before we go on to the other good players, the scoreboard in the background there tells the story for St Kilda. Crowe has got 2 goals. Roberts, as I mentioned, 2. Burns 2 and Lockett 2. Jeff Ablett 1. Likewise, Cronin and Cunningham. And for Queensland, they're only 2 goal kickers, both of them coming up in the first quarter, Russ and Dunstall. I was talking to Jack McLeod downstairs at half-time, a former chairman of selectors at Hawthorn, and he said they have very high raps on Dunstall here, and he believes he'll certainly make the grade in the VFL. So that's a pretty good compliment from somebody who's a very good judge of a footballer. So, players taking up their positions now for the resumption of play here. Queensland need some goals. They need them quickly to get back into the match. Downstairs, some of the locals were telling me, Ken, they played much better last week. Well, they haven't produced it today, have they?
Yes, it's always that way, isn't it? The surf was better last week too, but we weren't here for that either.
Umpires now checking the readiness of all players, and we should be underway in just a couple of moments. The 1985 Fosters Football Cup. This is a qualifying match, as in tennis, a qualifying encounter to get into the main draw. And the victor, of course, having a shot at that $525,000 worth of prize money. Now, I can't see what the delay is out there. All extraneous personnel have been removed from the field. And here we go for the third quarter. St Kilda versus Queensland from Kedron in Brisbane on the 7 network and associated stations across Australia. It goes down to Cunningham. A beautiful tap on, tries to get it out to Robert Mace, who fumbles. It's still pretty greasy out there. Ball socket off the ground by Mace. It's picked up out there for Queensland and turned by Becker. His kick is a short one down towards the full forward pocket. The umpire's found a free kick, and it will be going to Jason Dunstall, the player I mentioned. He has already kicked one of Queensland's 2 goals, but has had limited opportunities, of course, with the St Kilda defence this afternoon being very, very strong, capably led by Robert Elphinston on the half-back line. You can see kicking right into the breeze, the ball standing right up. Taken away by Trevor Barker, the St Kilda captain. Barker goes around the boundary line. Cronin got 2 hands to the ball, couldn't take the mark. And the umpire has found a free kick. Well, St Kilda, in the first term, they attacked that wing successfully. They brought the ball right around the ground, on that side of the ground, with the breeze. Now a chance for side bottom. Goes the tap on, not successful. It went to the opposition, picked up by Harper. A hurried hand pass back to side bottom. He offloads his opponent and dives on top of the ball. And the umpire has decided on a bounce. Just over 1 1/4 minutes gone in the third term. Side bottom, I see, without a boot. Picked up by Gibson. Elphinston again. He and Barker, probably St Kilda's best 2 players. In towards centre field. O'Keefe, the Queensland captain, trying to lift his side. He's gone for a pass down towards full forward. Dunstall just about had the mark. The umpire says no. A chance for Bennett. It goes to Tomei, who in turn gives it to Andy Bennett. Bennett looking for a hand pass. It's a long one. Ablett dragged down. Tomei likewise holding the ball, surely. Yes, it is. And it will be a free kick going Queensland's way.
Hose with the ball now, takes the kick, his first of the day, coming on at half-time, puts the ball high. Brought out of defence again by Bennett. Bennett puts it up, taken by McIver. McIver's handball across to Hose. Hose handballs further on to McMullen. McMullen turns around, has a shot at goal. Ill-directed, not going to make the goal square, but gets through for behind, and the first one on the board for Queensland in this term.
Well, you got him 2 touches, Ken.
Yes. Ball coming back out around the far wing. Cronin overruns the ball, given back to Melican. Melican slow, very slow with the ball. Puts it across. Ablett with the ball. High in the air. Beckett underneath it, tapped over the back. Now Phil Harper. Harper in plenty of bother. Fights his way through, well done.
Free kick he's paid. It's going to Harper, I think.
Well, he put in the effort, Peter.
Yes, he did.
Harper's pass is short, finds Tony Beckett. Beckett on the wing, gets his handball across to Becker, then to Stephen Russ. Russ into attack for Queensland. Drives the ball long and low, finds John Blair. Blair's mark is good, should drive it well in. Has done so, Dunstall's underneath it and takes the mark. Well, he too has lifted his game a little in the opening stages. He's made the most of his opportunities, let's put it that way.
Yes, you can't do more than that, can you?
No. Good effort from Jason Dunstall, taking that mark there in replay. Only 10 metres out.
Yes, he's certainly of the Lee Matthews mould, leg-wise, isn't he?
A very solid lad.
Yeah.
And a long-needed goal coming from Queensland through Jason Dunstall then, and that's the first one they've kicked since the first term of this Foster's match, and desperately needed one.
He has 2 goals to Dunstall. He's the leading goal kicker for Queensland. They've only had 2 of them, the other one kicked by Russ. And so, as you said, Ken, a badly needed one for Queensland. Well, maybe they can come back. They're kicking against the breeze this term. If they can get to within striking distance going into the last quarter, maybe some sort of a show of making a game of it. 4.5 minutes into the third quarter here at Kedron. Dunstall bringing up his second goal. The punch down was way past Ablett, picked up by Tomei, who's just come onto the ground, and turned onto Cunningham. Cunningham's kick up towards left forward pocket. The ball bounding like a top-spin lob over the boundary line, and we'll see it thrown into play about 25 metres from the behind post. Ruckman set themselves now. Going up is Crow. Backhands it away. O'Keefe is there first. Could have got a push in the back. Picked up by Harper. In fact, play has been stopped, I think. Yes, O'Keefe going back to take the free kick, arguably penalising the side, but the whistle had gone. O'Keefe goes for a pass. McIver up to centre wing in front. Elphinston has the ball knocked away from him. Russ is there, probably Queensland's best player. Gone for a pass, trying to find Melican. A little bit too wide for him. And Melican probably not the fastest of the Queenslanders. I think I'll be correct in saying that, Ken. Just couldn't make the ground. So boundary throw in on the outer side, close to the entertainment tent. Melican does get boot to ball on that occasion, and there's Dunstall leading out well from Andy Bennett. So Dunstall, a couple of touches this term. He's a long way out from goal and kicking into this breeze. It'd be an amazing kick if he could score from there. But yes, not a bad one. That's a good 55 metres against the breeze. What a kick.
Captured quickly. McMullen also can't get away with the ball. Coming through now, Ablett, showing plenty of pace. Drives the ball further afield. And a good mark there for St Kilda. That's taken by Riggs. Riggs again with the ball. Drives it further forward again. Pack flies. Nobody able to get down with it. Cunningham across to side bottom. Side bottom's boot goes again. Kicked out off the boot. Oh, luck be a lady. Into the hands of Max Crow.
Max, thanks very much.
Couldn't believe his good fortune. A slips catch. Dear me.
Case of being in the right place at the right time. It wasn't off that boot. It's the second time he's lost it today, though, but Crow has the shot at goal. And puts it through.
Third goal for Max Crow. A good performance from him too.
Max Crow becomes, with Jason Dunstall, equal leading goal kicker on the ground. And that's just what Queensland didn't want, Kent.
Yes, the reply wasn't necessary, but it was a bit of an unfortunate one for them. They looked as though they were going to get away with the defence. Didn't happen. Umpire Beguli puts the ball down, recommences play. Side bottom gets a tap. McIver's in the middle, comes over the top. Beguli sees a free kick, gives it to McIver. Right in the centre of the ground. Goes for the short pass, looks for Blair, puts it a bit too far afield for him. Blair tackled when not in possession of the ball. In the back is a call from umpire Kevin Smith. John Blair with the ball. Plays on immediately. Touched off the boot, play on the call. Dunstall flies high, Melican roves it off the pack, puts the ball high again, covers no distance, out of bounds on the full, and a free kick will relieve the pressure for St Kilda. Andy Bennett with the ball for St Kilda now. 10 metres from the Queensland goal. Good long kick from Bennett up to the wing. McIver flies high, unable to take the mark. Tapped down, coming through is Harper. Harper puts it to Russ. Russ's kick goes across to Gibson. Gibson takes the mark. Cunningham on his mark. Gibson kicks long. Pack of players underneath the ball. Good defence from Darryl Cowie. Gets the ball wide. Ablett.
Oh, Barker fell behind play, Ken.
Free kick up the ground. Play on. Elphinstone with the ball. Handballs across the top. Comes to Keel. Swooping through Beckett, I beg your pardon. Paul Farry then with his first touch of the ball for the day. Cross to Harper. Harper takes the ball across the boundary line, out of bounds. A boundary throw-in to take place on the half-forward flank for St Kilda.
9.5 minutes gone, third quarter. 4-6-30 Queensland, St Kilda 12-4-76. The Saints running right away with the game in the opening two terms. And once again, we'll see a bounce. Now, it's going to be a free kick to St Kilda, and it will be taken for them by Phil Narkle. Narkle at right half forward with the win. Try and find Lockett down there. Nowhere near it. Crow is. Likewise, Burns. And a wild hand pass from number 32, McGarry. Queensland defending desperately now, and it comes to Harper. He's got a second chance. Boot the ball very quickly. Is it wide? Over the boundary line, yes it is. And once again, Narkle has a chance to put St Kilda deep into attack. Thought about giving the hand pass to Sidebottom, then decides to kick it long himself. And there's a St Kilda mark, this time to Crow. And he's pretty well been unbeatable down there, Ken, hasn't he, in the air?
Very strong. Stood his ground exceptionally well in that pack and took an excellent mark. Let's see it again. Here's the kick from Narkle. You see Crow right in the middle of a big bunch of players. Good mark.
And Max Crow already with 3 goals on the board. One of those a gift from the opposition from a missed kick, but Crow's been kicking them pretty well himself today. 4 goals to Big Max, and he's the leading goal kicker on the ground. Cup action coming to you on the 7 network. On the bottom of that stack-up, I think, was Russ. It will be a ball up just wide of centre. Knocked down by Guy. Roberts nearly had his head pulled off. Kicked up by Hose. Up towards number 3 for Queensland in Finch. The umpire's found a free kick. He's gone for the hand pass to Hose. That's his 4th touch this term. Ken's pretty pleased. Getting the kick in is number 16. That's Russ, their best player, in my opinion, up towards full forward. And is that a mark? No, says the umpire. Oh, they're not too happy with that here, I can tell you. It'll be a 15-metre penalty. Let's take a look at it again. I think it was Gibson. Certainly looked a mark to my, unless it was touched off the boot. Well, the umpire didn't play it. He's closer than we are, as we always say. Back onto centre wing. Queensland player nearly had his hand kicked off there. The umpire has found a free kick, though. It's going Queensland's way. And the kick taken by Adams. Up towards centre wing. Queensland kicking against the breeze in this 3rd term. They need some goals quickly. Becker's kick, a long one. Plenty of high flyers. It rebounds out the back. Hose with the chance. Fumbles. He's got a second chance. He's gone for a hand pass. That's a little bit better. A bad pass, though. Sidebottom. Should have taken the mark. A chance for McIver. Down towards full forward. Yes, this time Gibson must be paid the mark. The crowd says we'll take that off him. He will be on a pretty fair angle. Umpire bringing him around a little bit. Not as much as I would have thought, though. Good mark. And so Gibson with a chance to bring up his 1st goal and what will be Queensland's 5th. Steers it through. Full points to the Queenslanders. So Gibson's 1st. That takes the Queensland total to 5-6. They trail St Kilda 13-4.
And certainly a much improved term from the Queenslanders, this one, but a long way to go yet to really get back into the game. Good mark from Gibson, a goal resulting. Gibson been signed by Fitzroy this season. Cooperoo player here in Queensland. All back with umpire Kevin Smith, centre of the ground. There's the bounce. Sidebottom gets a tap again. Hose in trouble. Player swooped on him from everywhere. Now Sidebottom taking the ground with the ball. Plays on immediately. Doesn't dispose of it well. Goes to Morwood. Morwood in the spot of bother. Manages to get out of it. Still in bother. Melican now gets the handball across to Harper. Harper got it out. Comes toward Gibson. Gibson does it well. Gets to Barker, and Barker relieved a bit of pressure for St Kilda then. Over to Cunningham. Cunningham puts it across the top. Over to Roberts. Roberts drives it forward again. Puts a St Kilda player under pressure, but he gets time to get around his opponent and steady and puts it right through the middle. A long way to come home. Ball back with umpire Kevin Smith. Here's a centre bounce. Melican and Sidebottom. Melican probably getting it that time. Russ on the ground with the ball. Pack of players develops. Have to be a bounce. Lindsay Baguli with the ball. The Queensland umpire. Bounce just outside the centre circle. Stolen by Sidebottom. Not quite. Didn't take it with him. Comes to Russ. Russ gets a hurried kick away. Drives the ball further forward. Swooping in Becker. Played well since he came on at half-time. Drives it right down where it's needed. Did he touch it?
No.
No, he didn't. Dunstall pulled the hands away at the crucial moment, and a great goal from Gary Becker.
Becker's first goal. Queensland now to 6-6 and Kilda 14-4. as we watch that one again. And Dunstall thinking about going for the mark, saw it was going long and let it go through for full points. .42 plays 88 now. The Queenslanders staying within striking distance. It's been a high-scoring game. Who knows? Maybe they can come back. Cunningham, short. Narkle has it knocked away. 2 Queenslanders there. O'Keefe, under plenty of pressure, has to go for the hurried hand pass. Getting overrun was Adams. Narkle a chance for St Kilda to pick the ball up, which he does. He's gone for a short pass, and it's taken by Michael Roberts, who was in everything in the first half for the Saints. Hasn't got very good footing out there. That's one of the muddiest parts of the ground. So, as such, could be a difficult shot for him. He'd need to aim for the right goal post. A cross breeze. That's not a bad kick, Michael Robertson, through for a goal. A very quick reply. And again, just what Queensland didn't want. So Michael Roberts, his 3rd goal. And so far as the goal scoring is concerned, it's been a real team effort for the Saints. Tony Lockett has done enough to suggest that he is going to be in for a good year, I think. .17 minutes gone, 3rd quarter. Michael Roberts' 3rd goal. A chance for Queensland now. Hose had the ball and then lost it. Tackled pretty solidly down there by Peter Keel. A real stack-up developing just off the edge of the square. And the umpire has decided on a bounce. St Kilda camp, I think, should be pretty pleased. 3 interchange players in these matches permitted. Up towards McIver, doesn't get a favourable bounce. Does some pretty good shepherding though. Morwood goes over the top of his opponent in Harper, and it will be a Queensland free kick. Could have almost been a 15-metre penalty.
Played St Kilda's way.
Another loud spectator in the background. Burns played a great game. Always a fine contributor. One of the players I think that coaches wouldn't really have to motivate. 42 plays 94. A difference of 52 points therefore. Burns' kick looks pretty good. Hit the post, I think. Yes, it did. And so 1 behind to St Kilda, 13-5 that will be, or 15-5 I should say, to 6-6. We're in the 3rd quarter, some 18.5 minutes in. Ball comes back in from Adams towards the outer side. And Keel flying with his teammate in Cunningham, but it might be a free kick to Queensland, and it will be taken by number 3 in Finch.
Finch waiting the return of the ball, has it now, plays on immediately, gets the ball onto boot, looks for Beckett. Beckett unable to take what he should have done, and the ball over the boundary line out of bounds. A centre boundary throw-in to take place on the centre wing position. Melican and Crow. Melican gets the tap, comes down to Finch. Finch bursts through the pack with the ball. Short pass, not a good one. Over the boundary line, another throw-in to take place. Gary Becker unable to pull the ball in on that occasion. Again, Melican and Crow. Crow getting the tap this time, taken away for them nicely by Robert Mace. Gets the ball further afield. Narkle chips over the top. Interfered the passage of play there by Farry, and Farry paid the mark. Farry with the ball. Onto the wing, flying high at the back was Cunningham, unable to take it. Ball comes to ground. McMullen gets the ball out, comes to Russ again. Had a swag of possession. And Michael Roberts taking a good mark under pressure. Roberts with the ball. Done everything right this term, as he's done right throughout the day. Ball goes high, nobody able to take it. Burns again with the ball. Time to steady, drives it right through. Beautiful shot, Burns, and good play from him.
Max Crow doesn't get a decisive tap out. Adlet's kick is a short one up towards Harper. Harper from centre half back brings the ball towards centre wing. At the back is Riggs. It's a Queensland possession though, and the Maroons get driven further forward. Not for very long though. I think it's out of bounds by McMullen. Timay started on the bench.
Well done, Phil McGarry.
Graham Jelly, the St Kilda coach, will be pretty pleased with his charges so far today. Paul Morwood gets grabbed a little bit too high. A slight difference of opinion out there. I don't think the smile's genuine. He'll get another 15 metres if he's not careful. A short pass. 2 St Kilda players are unguarded, and the mark is taken by Odgers. Odgers goes inboard towards the centre. Once again, a whistle has gone. Umpire Kevin Smith laying down the law to a couple of them. Melican has won. And what's happening here? The ball is being brought back, I think. Kevin Smith indicating where the kick will be taken. All very technical stuff. The end result is that Gary Odgers has the kick. Odgers short of half forward. Beautiful kick with the breeze. And fine mark down there by Melican. Goes towards the attacking side of the ground. Knocked away by Cunningham, and the ball is out of bounds right beneath the small scoreboard on the outer side. Some of the crowd on the hill, I can assure you, all with muddy feet. People in Melbourne wouldn't know what that was at the moment. It's been very dry down there. Elphinston, one of St Kilda's best players, I thought, in the first half, and is taken away by number 32 for Queensland in McGarry. His kick a poorly directed one. Gibson can't control it. It's out of bounds on centre wing. Melican, number 36, with Max Crow. Melican wins it, decides to do the roving himself. A beautiful spin out there by Finch. Puts Queensland into attack. Dunstall a long way from goal. Picked up by Roberts. St Kilda pretty well doing as they like. Elphinston. O'Keefe, yes, a good one-handed mark taken by the Queensland skipper.
O'Keefe looking for a target, none forthcoming for him at this stage. Goes back, settles them down a little. Kick is a high one. Max Crow, in the middle of the pack, taking the mark again on the half-back line for St Kilda. Doing it all well. Mason a spot of bother, gets his handball away nonetheless. Oh, and straight on. Oh, how good is Burns today? Doing everything right. Driving down the ground, takes the handball, consummate ease on the chest, drops the ball and puts his 5th goal of the day on the